Okay, it's that time of the year again. New FAFSA, upcoming school year, and a financial aid award letter you have no clue how to read. In my profession, I have met families who are pros at submitting the FAFSA from having older kids in college. However, in 2024, the FAFSA was drastically revised, and the process was significantly delayed for the 2024-2025 academic year. During that time, no one was a pro, including the financial aid professionals themselves, who were anxiously awaiting what the change would look like for their students and families. Thankfully, today the process for the FAFSA submission has improved, but there are still bumps along the way for many families. This process, along with the following months, raise a number of questions and what happens after the FAFSA is submitted, and what to look for when you're receiving award offers from numerous schools. So, whether you're a returning student or a college bound student for your very first year, I created a 4-part series to help you decode your financial aid award letter and the process for your next steps. In this series, I will walk through the stages I recommend my students to take when initially reviewing their financial aid award letters. I plan to discuss the terminology of financial aid and the extensive list of acronyms used by student financial aid offices, reading and understanding the fine print on the grants, scholarships, and loans offered, determining if you will have to pay out-of-pocket expenses to cover any remaining educational costs, and finally, teaching you how to accept your aid offer from your selected school. If you haven't begun the process of applying for financial aid and would like my recommended first steps, watch my video beginning the FAFSA application process. Let's get started with the top 8 acronyms and terms you may hear or see through your higher education journey. The wonderful world of financial aid has a large vocabulary of acronyms and keywords that are heavily coded on award letters and throughout student aid websites. I'm here to provide you the most common terms that I get questions about when working with students and their families. Breaking down the terms, as I call the financial aid buzzwords, in less than 5 minutes. The most common acronym that's used and completely aligned with financial aid is the FAFSA. The FAFSA stands for the Free Application for Federal Student Aid, and it's highly recommended that you use the studentaid.gov's website, emphasis on .gov, which will allow you to submit this free application through the Department of Education for free. There are other sites that utilize that acronym FAFSA, but ends in a .com or .net website. Those sites most commonly will charge you a fee for processing a free application. So make sure that you're using the .gov engine when you're searching for the FAFSA. The FAFSA application determines student eligibility for need-based aid on the federal, state, and institutional levels. Some states even have a comparable state application to the FAFSA, similar to where I reside in Maryland, that is available to students and families who are deemed ineligible to complete the FAFSA. The FAFSA is the first start if you're exploring need-based aid eligibility opportunities through the federal, state, or institutional avenues. You want to start there to begin your financial aid journey. Next acronym that's most commonly used now is the SAI, or the Student Aid Index number. This has been aligned with one of the terms we've previously used, which is the EFC, or the Expected Family Contribution Number. This figure is produced after a student has successfully submitted their FAFSA application, and it provides institutions a number to deem where the student ranks on the financial need level. The SAI is calculated by a successful submission of the FAFSA application. So once you as a student has submitted the FAFSA application utilizing you and your household's income and assets, the SAI number will be designated. That number is used to determine your, as a student's, need-based level for federal, state, and institutional aid. It is crucial that students are submitting their FAFSA so that each level can determine what you may be eligible to receive in need-based funding, in addition to any other types of funds such as merit or outside scholarships and grants. COA, or cost of attendance, is the overall price a student is expected to pay based on their housing and residency status for the academic year. Each college or university is required to be transparent in posting their cost of attendance on their website that clearly lists what the student is expected to pay if they are a resident on campus or off campus during an academic year. This is going to include both fall and spring semester so that the student and their families can determine if they can financially afford the institution for each year. Moving right along to what is direct and indirect cost. Direct cost essentially is any charges that are billed by your university or college. This includes your tuition, mandatory fees, housing on campus, and your food or meal plan. Again, these are charges that are assessed by the university that you would be responsible for as a student. Indirect costs are also listed on a student's cost of attendance figure, and these are charges that essentially are not billed by the institution, but is still deemed an educational expense. This includes your college books, transportation expenses such as bus fare, gas, or vehicle maintenance and parking, and personal expenses that may include medical expenses or fees, laptop or technology charges, and any allowance such as personal. Direct and indirect costs are clearly listed on a school's overall cost of attendance and is factored in based on the geographic location of the institution and the average cost. You will also be able to see what your cost of attendance is with these direct and indirect costs based on your housing status. So if you choose to live on campus or off campus with roommates, you will see a budget line for each. This also includes if you choose to stay at home with family while you attend university. Finally, the difference between need-based and merit-based aid. Your need-based aid is determined again by your FAFSA application and your SAI number. This allows any organization to determine what your unmet need is. Merit-based aid is determined by a level of factors, which may include academic merit, athletic ability, volunteerism or action, etc. So keep it in mind that you may receive financial aid assistance that are based on both need-based and merit-based eligibility. Now that we understand the terms of financial aid, your next step is to review the common things to look at when reviewing your financial aid award letter. I discuss what to consider in the legal fine print of your financial aid offer that are items that are most commonly skipped by students. Check out the second video in my Financial Aid Decoded series here.